Farah Hanoun for MMA Junkie, and I'm joined by UFC flyweight Maycee Barber. Maycee, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good, thank you. We just talked off air for a second there. You're in Colorado. You were on a road trip
hmm
yesterday, right? Are you visiting family?
Yeah, I'm out here visiting my sister, and I actually drove out here because I'm going to fly to Vegas. It's a little nicer. That way I can kill two birds with one stone going out here and then also flying to Vegas. So
Cool. Are you flying to Vegas for rehab and stuff at the Performance Institute, or what?
I am. Yeah, I'm going to go to the Performance Institute on Monday and then Tuesday, and then I'll come back home.
Awesome. And you posted, I think, a couple weeks ago that was your first training session on the mats. What was that like?
Oh my gosh, it feels so good to be back. I was able to do like some PT and some, well, obviously I'm doing PT, but some mitts. But that was the first time being able to like do any sort of like wrestling technique. It feels so good to be back. Just even in that environment where you could step on the mat, like that's something that, I was raised doing. So to have that be kind of a break for me, especially with the whole virus and everything, I couldn't even go to the gym. So it was really nice to be back.
And what's the progress so far? Doctors liking where you're at right now? How's the knee feeling?
It feels great. The doctors, I actually went and did PT yesterday before I left, and we did kind of like a little test to see how like far my progression has come. And I'm like, so my left leg is the injured leg, and that one has about 25-30% less strength than my right leg. So we're getting there. It's still a work in progress. It still gets sore. I wasn't running for a while, but I just got cleared to start running again. So now I'm back to starting to run. So overall, it's pretty good.
That's good to hear. Do you know
Yeah.
when you'll be able to get back to full training? Have they given you a time?
We're thinking like August, September, I should be able to be back fully training and start a camp. So hopefully that's the goal. I'd like to fight by the end of the year, but again, with this kind of injury, it's not one that I want to redo the whole surgery or rehab or anything on. So trying to be smart and making sure that all the doctors are happy with how it is, mobility, strength, everything before just saying, yeah, let's fight, because I want to make sure that I'm not going to go through this break again. I'm not going to go through the whole recovery process again. So got to make sure that works.
Of course. So you're saying like best case scenario if you're gonna try end of the year, but more realistic 2021.
Ideally, I would like, yeah, November, December, maybe late December, if there's a card. I think that'd be perfect. It all depends on, like, right now, the way my progression has gone. I had surgery like I want to say, I had it February 10th, so just over 3 months ago. I mean, I'm really far. They're like, most people are barely like certain things. They can't even jump, they can't even run. And I'm doing ladder drills, I'm doing wrestling drills, I'm able to hop on one leg. The main thing is just, that like when you're in grappling situations, your legs get twisted and turned every which way. So you want to make sure that it's going to be fine. So yeah, I think it would be realistic to be able to say December, but maybe January.
Cool. And you're a few months removed from your last fight. Of course, your first defeat of your pro
Mm-hmm.
career. A lot of negativity from the fans. It's just unfortunately the way society is. When someone's got a lot of attention, a star on the rise, they kind of like to see them falter. I don't know why, but that's just unfortunately the way it is. How did you deal with kind of the negativity on social media? Do you block it out? I think it's toned down now, but at the time, like, did you just have to block it out?
Honestly, I didn't pay any attention to it. For me, it was just trying to deal with this surgery. That was a pretty big, daunting thing to think about is, okay, I just tore my knee. I'm going to have surgery, and we don't know what that's going to look like. It was a lot of unknowns. So I didn't even really have time or the mental capacity to even consider what people who have never been through something that I just went through, or who have like no idea what it's like to live the life that a fighter lives. Like I never even once considered like what everyone else would have thought of me, from the fight. I did get a lot of good feedback from a lot of other fighters and professional athletes. And I mean, I didn't really pay attention at all to any of them.
Good, because
Yeah.
I mean, it happens to everybody. Like, even me as a journalist, sometimes I'm like, well, why is everyone saying anything about me? I'm like, I'm just like the
Yep.
messenger. Don't kill the messenger.
People
But
like
yeah,
to
you just
hate
have to
on
block that stuff
everything.
out.
Yeah. People hate on everything from the way you dress to the way you
That's
talk to the questions you ask. They don't care. They're going to hate on it. If there's something you're doing and they don't have anything to do, they're going to hate on you. So that's like their thing to do.
just unfortunately the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you look back at the fight, I know you were compromised, but is there anything that you can take away from the fight at all? Other than the fact that you were compromised and you were injured, so you weren't able to perform the way you wanted to, of course. But is there any lessons you could take from that fight?
Honestly, I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm able to take away, but to be completely honest, like the way I think about that fight is it's just kind of I don't know how to feel about it, like I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel negative about it. It's I've had a lot of people say that, oh well, it was a an unfortunate turn of events, or it's a kind of like a bump in the road, or it's a bummer. And to be honest, like things happen the way they happen, and I gave my full effort in my camp, in my training, in my preparation for that fight. I had the best coaches with me. I had everything was ready, and so I have to keep fixing my hair. The air is there. It's a little breezy. But I had everything going, and I was confident walking into there, and things happened the way they happen, and I wasn't going to go out there and quit. So I did everything I could with what I was kind of given with the situation, and I truly feel like if I went back and fought that fight, I would win that fight. And that's definitely something that I have my eye on, for my return, whether it's if I can get Roxanne back and fight her again on my comeback, that's what I want. Whether that's going to happen or not, we'll see. Things change. The division changes. Everything is kind of up in the air. You never know what's going to happen until, you're in there. So I'm just taking it day by day. And the takeaway was kind of, this is my chance to grow. This is my opportunity to use this as a thing to help me evolve. So.
Yeah, and you're still so young. You're only 22. I think you just turned 22. Mm-hmm. You've got the same birthday as me, by the way. So
happy birthday.
Fist bump on that. You did. Yeah, you're just still so young. And does it make it easier? Like the flyweight division, 115, it's a lot more stacked. It's deeper. 125, like this is a setback, but at the same time, 1 or 2 wins and you're right back in there. Does it make it easier in terms of your path? I know you had goals of becoming the youngest champion. Obviously, this is going to delay things, but does it make it easier being in the flyweight division, considering that it's not as stacked as 115?
To me, I mean, honestly, I think that as long as you're fighting and you're consistent, I mean, if you look at, for example, like Angela Hill, I mean, she is so consistent. And the thing is like her name is out there all the time. And the reason why she comes out to mind is because she's a gangster. She just wants to go out there and fight. I don't think that, whatever division it is, I don't think it matters because, when I think of the 115 division, I don't think of anybody but Angela Hill, and the reason why is because she's the one that's fighting. So I think it doesn't matter if I'm in the flyweight or if I'm in the strawweight division. I think as long as you're trying to fight and as long as you're staying relevant and trying to put on performances, win or lose, it doesn't matter. You're gonna continue to be someone that people are gonna watch, and when they want to watch you, that pushes you closer to the top of the division because you have more pull. So I'm definitely right now I'm feeling like it's going to stay flyweight for now, but I think it doesn't matter whatever division. The 15 division is definitely pretty full, but I guess to me it doesn't really matter either way.
Have you been keeping tabs on the division? Do you watch the fights every weekend? Do you keep an eye on the division and stuff like that?
I do. I've been able to watch a lot of the fights, but overall, I like to watch them, not necessarily to keep attention. I don't necessarily pay attention to like, okay, who's in this ranking, who's here, who's there. It's more of their performances and what I can take away from like their actual performances as an athlete. I don't really care about the face or the name. Like that's always going to be there and it's always going to be changing. But what I really try to study is how they move, how they win, how they lose. Like what are those kind of things? And other than that, I've just been reading a lot of books and just really focusing on my return and how much better I can get to be able to come back. Because coming back from an injury is and coming back from a loss is there. Those are some of the biggest. This is going to be the biggest fight of my career is coming back. So I try not to worry about who's where and what they're doing. It's okay. What am I doing? Where am I going? And what do I have to do to get there? So that's kind of what I'm focused on right now.
Has anybody reached out to you, like a pro athlete or a fellow fighter or anything like that, in terms of giving you advice on how to deal with this injury?
Oh, man. I've talked to a lot of people about this injury from, gosh, I couldn't even name off all of them. Definitely Felice Herrig, you know, she went through an injury very similar to mine. You know, she's still just getting ready to come back. So I've talked to her a couple of times. She's given me plenty of, you know, plenty of things on what she did for her injury. You know, I've talked to professional basketball players that I'm NPT with. You know, there's a few in there. I've even talked to like coaches of Conor McGregor because you know he went through a similar injury and he had to come back. So again, picking up knowledge from anyone and everyone who has gone through any sort of injury, from whether it was how they were able to perform coming back or what helped them with their recovery. And then also is like the mental side of how do you get over like the trust issue with your own body of, all right, is my leg going to be stable enough to do what I want it to do? You know, because that's a big piece of it. Is it's your body will hold up, but will your mind and your body connect? And will your mind be hesitant and make your body, you know, a little bit slower? So just learning how to train all that. And there's plenty of people who have given me tons of knowledge and wisdom for that.
And I'm going to leave you with one last question. I appreciate your time. Your brother, Wyatt, he just signed with Bellator. How proud are you of him just to see him? I mean, it's a pretty special thing for him to able to grow and kind of start his MMA career in an organization like Bellator.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, for me to watch him it's a lot of nerves that go on. And then the fact that I get to be a part of his career and see it come together and just be a part of it. I'm so excited. I train with him full time. He's my main training partner. I'm his main training partner. Obviously there's a bit of a size difference, so he definitely has to have other bigger guys. But for him to be with a promotion like Bellator, you know, it's huge. He had one amateur fight, just like me. You know, I had one amateur fight, and then I turned pro, and that's kind of what we did with him. Is he has his pro debut is going to be with Bellator, and that's a huge promotion. You know, I even talked with Dana about this because I was, you know, he got multiple offers for contracts, and you know, Dana just said go with what's going to be best for him at the time, and you know, and when it comes time to be either with UFC or Bellator, you know, we'll figure it out. But definitely, I think that he's in the right promotion. I think he's in the right spot, and I can't wait for him to make his debut. He was supposed to, but this whole virus kind of shut things down. But he's definitely going to have a great career, and it's going to be fun for us to do this all together.